DA Wrestling, how you doing? It's Andrew. We're here. We're going to talk some stuff that's gone on in the week. Interesting things. He's going to talk about something you may want to brag about. Anyway, here we go. There's DA Wrestling. We're going to talk about this stuff. What's going on in Raw? Because War Games is set. And before we go any further in this, make sure you like, share, subscribe down below here. Small click for you. Big click for us here at DA Wrestling. We appreciate everything you guys do. All your subscribers, we thank you very much. Let's get to it. All right. So, if you saw the headline when you popped on this video, it says it's the Heyman War Games. It really is. When you think about it, it's the Heyman War Games. Right? All these guys have been associated with Paul Heyman in some way, shape, or form. Literally. All right. You have CM Punk in it. Let's go through. Actually, let's go through it both ways. We have the good guys and the bad guys. You want to call that, right? You have on the good side, the face side, is what I like to call them, because that's what they call them, right? We have what's it called? We have Cody Rhodes, the Usos. That's both of them, right? CM Punk, and we got the fifth member on Raw, Roman Reigns. There we go. All associated with Paul Heyman. CM Punk, obviously, his history with Paul Heyman, right? Going back to many, many years of friendship, right? Roman Reigns, the whole, and the Usos, the whole Anoa'i family, along with obviously the bloodline stuff, right? And you have Cody Rhodes, who basically grew up, right, with Paul Heyman because Paul Heyman knew Dusty very well, and so forth. Now, the other side of the spectrum, we'll do this, right, because it makes more sense. The other side of the spectrum, we have now the new guy, the three new guys who are now associated with Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, as well as Logan Paul, because he's been tied, nurturing Logan Paul a little bit, right? You have, obviously, what's it called? Well, you have Drew McIntyre, right? Who Drew talked to Paul Heyman numerous times. He had matches with the last guy I mentioned with, right? So he always has association with Paul Heyman in a sense. And Brock Lesnar, obviously, who came back on Raw in New York, Madison Square Garden, along with Roman Reigns, like I said, right? And is now part of the War Games team. So it's the Paul Heyman War Games. Literally. Everybody in there is associated with Paul Heyman in some way, shape, or form. I just ran it down for you. So it's crazy how that's actually a thing now. It's literally the Paul Heyman War Games. Now, the question is, though, who's going to win this War Games? Now, I think a few things might happen in this War Games. Now, I'll get to that when we get to the predictions video, which will happen probably, I think, a week or so, because I think we're about a week and a half, 2 weeks away from this thing, right? We'll discuss it then. But adding Brock and Roman to it, I mean, I know I said last week, they were trying to keep Roman and Cody away from each other for a bit. Well, you have Brock now in there, who basically came back in and dismantled everybody on Team Cody, or Team Punk, or whatever you want to call it. Right? And then you had the OTC come back. And they framed it as the only person who can really take on Brock Lesnar is Roman Reigns. Even though at SummerSlam a couple years ago, we saw Cody defeat Roman Reigns in what we thought was possibly Brock Lesnar's retirement match. In quotations, folks. First of all, used for the audio version on Spotify and Podbean. But yeah, so we have all that. We literally have everybody who is associated with Paul Heyman over the past, let's say, 30 years. Is literally in this Royal Rumble. Is really literally in this War Games match. Hence why I'm calling it the Paul Heyman War Games, or the Heyman War Games. Seriously, look at the whole thing. It's hysterical. Now, who's going to win? I'm not too sure yet. You almost got to give it to Lesnar's team, or Team Vision, or whatever you want to call it. Right? But there's a good possibility some stuff's going to happen in a few weeks. We'll find out more what happens there, but it's really interesting. The Paul Heyman Wargames. Figure that one out. Now, let's also talk about, too, how we have a new women's IC champion, which is going to lead to something else. Maxxine Dupri is the new Intercontinental Women's Intercontinental Champion. Let me say that again. Maxxine Dupri is the new women's IC champion, defeating Becky Lynch with the help of the returning AJ Lee. Now, this is interesting because I thought a while back here when after the whole AJ Lee CM Punk match versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch that we'd probably move transition to AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch pretty much right away for the IC title. We did not do that. We backed off on that for a bit, right? AJ Lee went away, did some stuff, came back, and cost Becky Lynch the title, having Maxxine Dupri beat her with a crossbody to a roll up for the 1-2-3 on Raw. Maxxine Dupri is the new champion. AJ Lee is now, I guess, back. Now, here's the thing that gets funny. We have the women's war game stuff, right? And the rumor right now is that AJ Lee was talking, right, about how, it's good to be back. I couldn't stand Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch wouldn't drop stuff, right? She came back and helped Maxxine Dupri win. Then Rhea Ripley came in and said, we need to talk for a second. So the rumor is, my guess is that AJ Lee is going to join Team Ripley, along with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, right? Io Sky, right? Rhea Ripley, and then AJ Lee. That's your five, right? Against the other side, which is obviously Nia Jax and Luscious Jackson. No, we're gonna call her that though, right? Slipped off the top of my head, right? Oh, Lash Legend, sorry, right? The Kabuki Warriors, and my guess is Becky Lynch is going to add into this, which means they're probably going to have at some point AJ Lee face off against Becky Lynch in this match, which will lead to eventually something at probably the Rumble or something. Or Saturday night's main event, which is John Cena's last one. So it's a good possibility. They probably want to stack that card a little bit too more. So my guess is that's probably where we're going to have that match. If not, it would be saved for the Rumble. Or maybe even Mania. Who knows? We'll have to wait and find out. But that's what I'm thinking right now is going to happen there. But it was pretty cool to see AJ Lee back. It was really cool to have her screwing. How long Maxxine Dupri's title reign is going to be? Who knows? Do I think she's going to hold it for a while? I don't think so. But you know what? In WWE, you never really know. You see some silly things all the time. You really do. All right? Now, moving on to John Cena versus Dominic Mysterio. Yeah, that's the thing that's going to happen again. So John Cena obviously last Monday night beat Dominic Mysterio, right, for the IC title, becoming a Grand Slam champion. Good for him. Now you're going to have Dominic Mysterio face John Cena again in San Diego. Because obviously it was in John Cena's hometown too, and Dominic Mysterio made a huge kerfuffle about it, saying, well, I want home field advantage, so we're going to do it in San Diego, because I'm from San Diego. Good for you. Now, do I think John Cena is going to be like a 2-week champion here? I mean, there's a good possibility that's exactly what's going to happen, but I beg to wait a little bit there. I think John Cena is probably going to beat Dominic Mysterio because Dominic Mysterio, really, let's be honest, he doesn't really need to have the 2 belts, right? He doesn't really need to do anything with the IC title at this point now, right? Obviously, he held the title, he held it for a decent amount of time, right? The guy's probably going to move himself into maybe a main title, maybe going for the heavyweight title at some point. CM Punk has mentioned he wants to face Dominic Mysterio, so why not have that match? Now, you could have Dom win the Royal Rumble. I mean, that's a far-fetched thing, but you could have Dom win the Royal Rumble. Right, and then challenge CM Punk. But I think there's other things they want to do with that instead. Now, I think Cena's going to win that one. Now, I do a little ranting and raving here. Now, last week, in the last week's episode, I said that The week before that, I said, 2 weeks before that, I said Nikki Bella's going to turn on Stephanie Vakir. I was right. And now we're getting Stephanie Vakir versus Nikki Bella at San Diego's War Games for the women's title. I don't see Nikki Bella winning this. I just don't. It makes no sense for Nikki Bella to win this belt over Stephanie Vakir. At all. Literally none. I don't see a reason for it. There's no reason why it should be it. Seriously. It makes no sense to me. In the slightest. So I'm taking Stephanie Vakir to win this match here. I think it's going to be a good match, right? I think Nikki Bella wants to try to elevate people more and try to make it look better for Stephanie Vakir. Say, hey, look, Stephanie Vakir ended up being a former world champion, women's the Divas champion for the title, held the title, beat her. I think Stephanie Vakir is not to lose. I think she's going to win. I don't think Nikki's going to win. I don't think Nikki really cares about titles. But we'll see what happens. And one last thing we're going to talk about. You guys, I see these it's kind of almost like a little bit of a theory. It could be wrong. It's probably just a random theory. But we're going to find out anyway. Because I'm going to play this theory out of my head. You guys see the WrestleMania commercials, the whole one. With in the poker room and all that stuff. You have Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, and Cody Rhodes. Here's a theory. What if those are your nights 1 and 2 main events right there? Cody versus Roman, 3. And Brock versus Punk, let's say number 2. Right? Both for the titles. Both current champions are there. Both potential challengers. What if Reigns wins the Rumble and Brock wins, say, Elimination Chamber? Because I don't think it'll be the other way around. Right? And all of a sudden, that's your main event for both nights 1 and 2. It's just a theory. It's a crazy theory out there. But it's a possibility. I'm going to leave you on that note. Comment down below what you guys think. Comment in the comments everywhere. Let me know if I'm crazy for what I'm saying right there. Tell me if I'm crazy for calling the HEYMAN War Games. Who knows? But anyway, guys, thanks for watching here. Make sure you like, share, subscribe on YouTube, Podbean, and Spotify. If you want the audio versions, go to Spotify and Podbean. Right? Follow us on X and DA Wrestling. We thank you very much. Have yourself a good one, everybody. Enjoy the show. War Games is coming soon, folks. Predictions video coming out soon for that. How to go, guys. Bye.